All right, what's up, Facebook family? Good evening to everyone. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone had a better than amazing day. Want to thank you all beforehand for joining us tonight. You all know the routine. Before we get going, let's go ahead and take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Let's go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. I will put the YouTube channel in the comments for those of you who are on Facebook. For those of you who are on YouTube, go ahead and like this video and also go ahead and share this video. Tonight's conversation is going to be a phenomenal conversation with a guy that I have an amazing amount of respect for. Probably the only man that I know is busier than me on a daily basis. And tonight he's going to talk to everybody about his journey through entrepreneurship and the things that he does in the community. This is going to be an awesome conversation. So go ahead, share it out with people that you know can benefit from it. And let's get this conversation started.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring, My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. 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 Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see the thumbnail, you see who we're talking to tonight. I call this gentleman the architect of the Red Stick Empire. What's going on, man?
What up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. What about yourself?
Man, look, if I was any better, bro, I'd be you.
Don't say that.
Man, I've been wanting to sit down and talk with you for a minute, bro. I'm glad our schedules finally lined up so we can get this thing knocked out.
Yes, sir, man. I'm proud to be here.
Yes, sir. So I know you, man. I know everything you got going on, but for the people who are not in the Baton Rouge area, for those individuals that don't know you, man, go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are.
Okay, I'm Rontrell Bethley, a serial entrepreneur out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I currently have a car dealership, bail bonding company, portable building company, a real estate investor. But my main thing is teaching entrepreneurs how to start businesses and how to grow their business. That's my passion, helping people, especially entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs.
Man, look, and you do it, bro. It's amazing that you do all those things and you do them at a very, very high level, man. So before we even get into the conversation, man, where did you get all this knowledge from? What made you just decide that, look, I want to get this thing going. I want to dive into a bunch of different areas. So where did you get all this knowledge from, all this information that you share with everybody?
Man, just from hands-on, just from reading and actually just doing the things that I'm currently doing. I didn't go to college. I did graduate high school. 9th grade, I went to Struma, 10th, 11th, 12th. Baker High School. That's the high school I graduated from. Mm-hmm. But as far as entrepreneurship, it started in middle school. I started, just like a lot of other people, started selling candy. I wasn't fortunate enough to get certain things that I wanted. My mother couldn't buy things, so she did let me sell candy, right? And I sold candy, and that's how I was able to, give me a couple pair of shoes, things of that nature. That's why I said it started. Yeah. But as I got a little bit older, when I graduated high school, I went a little bit deeper and I opened up a pressure washing and lawn care service.
Okay.
Yeah, bought me a trailer, bought me a lawnmower. I didn't even have a truck at the time. I had a Roadmaster Estate wagon, one of those,
Yeah.
and I was pulling my trailer around town with that, man. And that was my first, licensed business that I've owned. I did it for a while, and then I realized that just wasn't for me. It was easy for me to get the trailer. It was easy for me to get the lawnmower, but the lawn care just wasn't something I liked to do. So later I ended up shutting that down and just started expanding to new businesses, man, trying different things until I found, some things that I actually love to do. Yeah.
You telling your age? You say you had a station wagon, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. Roadmaster or the state wagon. Hey, that's what I was pulling my trailer with. I
The
just had,
big joker, the big jokers was rooming, man. That's why I say they be
oh,
lying talking about
yeah,
the cars now burn a lot of gas because they big. Them cars back then was huge and didn't burn that much gas.
exactly. Had that 5.7 liter LT1 engine. You remember?
You remember?
Right?
So before you started like really, really diving into this entrepreneur thing, man, what type of jobs you had pre-entrepreneurship?
Man, early on, I was working at the fruit stand that used to be on Plank Road. That was one of my first jobs.
I remember it well.
Yep. I worked there while I was in school. From there, my next real job, I would say, the McDonald's in Scotlandville.
Mm-hmm.
I worked there for a couple weeks, and, um, but Popeyes. I worked at Popeyes in Baker for like maybe a year or two while I was in high school.
Okay.
Few temp services, things of that nature. But I ended up getting on at the plant, and I was at the plant for maybe 6, 7 years, and that
Okay.
was a real job working at the plant actually.
Okay. It's funny, man. Like if you listen to the plight of most entrepreneurs, it's pretty similar. Most of them, they bounce from job to job, never really quite found anything that they enjoy doing. I know me personally, and people say I'm arrogant when I say it, but I never worked for anybody that I thought deserved for me to call them boss. I've never worked for anybody that I had that much respect for, that I thought that they were that much better than me and they deserve me calling them boss. So early on, I knew that they're just working a regular job was not something that I was going to be good at. I tried hard to be competitive to keep myself there, but deep down inside, I'm sure you can attest to this. I always felt like, it served me better to be calling my own shots. You
Definitely,
know,
definitely, definitely. It was always much more, right? And I felt the same way at every job I was at. I tried to take what I could take from each job.
oh
So
yeah, oh yeah,
opened up my own, I have a sense of how to go about operating and running things. This is what I don't want to do. This is what I want to do. So yeah, I figured that out early on as well. But I just couldn't see myself just continually working for someone else that's going to dictate my future, my pay, my hours, and things of that nature. I just didn't want to be controlled like that for the rest of my life.
yeah. But the cool part about every job that I had was that I learned something at every location, that when I actually did get my own business, I learned things that I could apply instantly. I did retail for about 15 years. I was a retail manager. So with retail management, you got people skills, you got profit and loss, you got inventory, you got stocking, you got a loss prevention. So I got all that stuff that I learned there. I did corrections, which a lot of people don't know. In corrections, you learn people skills because you can't talk to everybody the same way. Everybody don't have the same temperament. So everywhere that I worked, I learned something, and I just used the stuff that I learned and applied that to my business. And that's pretty much what made me successful as an entrepreneur, just applying all those things that I learned at every spot that I was at.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
So we talked about this briefly, but I'm gonna touch on it again. So when did you know when did you know that the traditional 9 to 5, the bump and grind of clocking in and working on somebody else's job, was something that you were not interested in doing?
I would say early on, man. Maybe when I was at Popeyes. I just knew I wanted more. I wanted to do something different. And one of the main reasons I started my business was to make my mother happy. Like that was my,
Yeah.
I just wanted her to be proud of something that I'm actually doing. And
Nice.
I wanted to do something where I could also help people and also inspire and motivate more people like me. Because at that time, it just wasn't a lot of entrepreneurs, right? So my thing is, I got a lot of people that's underneath me that's coming up. I got friends that's my age, and I wanted to show them, look, you can open up a business and you can be successful. So, but overall, my mother, she was the reason why, more so than
Yeah. Yeah, that's heavy, bro. I think all of us have a soft spot in our heart for our moms, and just wanting to make moms proud and let her know that all the things she did and all the sacrifices that she made were not in vain. So I definitely, definitely understand that. It's amazing, man. We've never talked, man, but our journeys are very similar. Our journeys are very similar. Our mindsets are very similar. So that's interesting.
and I know that just based off the post that you made regular. I'm like, man, he in my brain, right? Man, I thought like that, but nah, man, you're right, man. I like what you're doing too, man. I like the message you're putting out there, man. I like what you're doing for the people, man. I salute that.
I appreciate that, man. I'm an abstract thinker, man. Like I just really believe that it comes to a point in time to where we got to start controlling our own narrative. If you look at the media, if you look at the news, they portray us in a certain way, and I just think that that there's a vocal minority that everybody focuses on, but I think that everyday people, most people, actually want to do the right thing. A lot of people don't know how to do the right thing or what avenues they need to do the right thing. So with this platform, man, what I really try to do is to put people like yourself in the forefront. Let people see that there are people out there who are in the community, they're doing great things, they're starting businesses, they're being successful, they're helping other people out, so that you never know who you may motivate, who you may entice to follow suit. So as long as I can, man, I'm gonna always be throwing thought-provoking things out there and trying to put positive people in the forefront so that other people can see that, yeah, there are people who look like you that are out there winning.
Definitely, man.
All right. So look, for those of you who are just joining, we're talking to Mr. Rontrell Bethany today. We're having an elevated conversation with this gentleman. If you are watching on Facebook, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you look in the comments, the link to the YouTube channel is there. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like this video and go ahead and share this video. If you know someone that is aspiring to be an entrepreneur, tonight's conversation is one that they definitely would want to check out. And for everybody, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook, go ahead and put your city and your state in the comment section so that we can see who's engaging with us tonight. So once again, you answered this question too, but we can dive a little bit deeper into it.
Definitely.
Business number one, man. What was business number one?
Business number one. Let's see.
That's the one that should be closest to your heart, man. The first one.
So you saying what's the first business I actually started?
Mm-hmm.
That was the
lawn care service.
The lawn care service. After the lawn care service came the bell bonding and staffing service, or staffing and bell bonding. Either. What happened was I was working at all these different temp services, right? Well, temp services, but that seemed to different jobs. And I was like, okay, if they're paying me $7 an hour, whoever contracted them gotta be paying them at least $12, $13 an hour, right? So I said,
right,
why can't I just do the same thing? I started that. I did a little something with it. I didn't take it to the heights I wanted to, being that at that time I was like 19, 20. I didn't know necessarily how to go about communicating with the different companies to get contracts and things of that nature. But so it was okay. But my bail bonding business is one of my early on businesses that I still have to this day. And that's the business. That particular business is the business that took me away from the plant. I was working my bail bonding business maybe 2-3 years. probably that second year, I was pretty much to the point where I could have left my job because of the income I was making, but I was like, nah, it's not the time just yet. So, long story short, I ended up building a house in Zachary, and the day I signed the dotted line at my home, as far as closing, which was years ago, that was my last day ever working for someone else. That was my last day working my plant job.
Double anniversary.
Yeah. And so from there, man, I just put all my time and energy into my bell bunny business. And I would say 3 months from leaving my plant job, I made what I was making in a year. I generated that in 3 months.
Yeah.
Of just putting it all into my business, and from there, everything else is history. I ended up opening up my dealership. I ended up investing into real estate. I ended up opening up my portable building business, and been rolling and rocking ever since, brother.
That was actually the first business that I saw. The first picture I saw of you was a picture. You may remember this photo. It was a picture of you, I guess, at the closing table. You had a I can't remember. It's either a folder or a portfolio, and you had your logo on the outside of it. You was at the closing table. And I said, damn, this dude doing it, man. I said, you don't see very many people his age, doing it. So I saw it one week. I came back to Facebook a couple weeks later. You closing again. I came back a couple weeks later. He's closing again. I'm like, God, this dude doing it. And the thing about it is he got his brand on it. You were seeing people that looked like us doing closings, but they were Keller Williams. They were whatever agency they were representing. And to me, it was just very impressive that you were doing it on that level, but you were doing it yourself. You wasn't doing it through another company. So that's when I initially started following you. I say, man, this is somebody that I need to check out, see what this dude is doing. And passing down airline and saw the car dealership, and the car dealership expanded to where it had a portable building of 2 on the lot. 2 turned to 4, the 4 turned to 8. And I passed by there one day earlier this year, and you had that monster in front of it.
Oh, definitely 16 by 6.
Yeah, a house.
Yeah.
So, man, look, I mean, for most people, the first thing they say is that they don't have the time. They don't have the time. They want to start a business. They have an idea to start a business. The 2 things that I hear most people say is, number 1, they don't have the time. And number 2, they're afraid to leave the security of their job. Okay. I know a lot of people that have businesses right now that want to leave the job, and they're actually making enough money in their business. But the benefits is what keep them there. The fact that they got that Medicare, that insurance and that retirement and stuff on their primary job. So what was it inside of you that said, man, look, I understand the security of the job is there. I understand that the job provides those benefits, but I believe in myself enough to where I'm ready to step off this porch and do this thing all in.
Right. Definitely. So everybody situation is different. Everybody benefits and 401ks and different insurance plans is different. Everybody mindset is different, right? My particular mindset was I'm gonna just put it all in my businesses, right? If I do what I need to do, I should be able to generate enough income so I can put up, in case I need, to go to the doctor or whatever the case may be. Not to mention they do have companies that will insure you self-employed and, and 401ks, nothing against it, but I'd rather be my own 401k, right? I'd rather invest into a Roth IRA, but invest my money to the things that I want to invest in, right? And diversify, as well, invest into a few different things. And as far as people that say they don't have enough time, I hear that a lot. Everywhere I go, people get to talking to me, and I don't have time and money. Those are the 2 things I hear more. So time and money. And I was talking to a young lady. She stopped me at Family Dollar. It's the second day she worked there, and we was talking. She's like, I just want to, do more with my business, but I don't have the time. And what gives you the drive to do it? And I said, listen, I'd be straight up, I'd be upfront with people. I say, you have the time. I say, you making excuses.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do after work? Do you watch Netflix? Do you listen to music? Do you do anything that you just like to do? And she was like, yeah. I say, so that's the time you could be focusing in on your business, right? I say, instead of watching Netflix, I know it's hard. It could be tempting, Power and all these shows and things like that. I say, pop open a book. I say, the more you read and research, the more you're going to want to do more. What you take in, that's what you're going to put out.
Absolutely.
You got to have your why. I say, you say you got a child, because she said she had a child. I say that should be your wow factor right there. You want something that you could pass down. You want to, invest into things where you could continue to make money off of, right? And I say, man, that excuse of not having time. Like, I was working with my actually at one point I was working 2 jobs, but I still was putting time into my business, right? You're going to put time into what you want to put time into at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I just tell them, you just got to get that out your head. I know it's hard because, you've been doing it that way for so long, with your free time. I just want to relax. I just want to chill. But I mean, every day counts,
Yeah.
Every day counts. And as far as money, I hear that a lot. I don't have enough money. And I tell them, look, go back and look what you've been spending your money on. You've been going out to eat a lot. Okay, boom. You've been going out clubbing. Look at that. You've been buying unnecessary shoes and clothes. You go back and look at those things. Those are things that majority of those things are things that you want, you don't necessarily need.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got to be willing to sacrifice, and just invest into what you need to invest in if you want a better future, and all this stuff. There's nothing wrong with none of those things. But once you get to a certain point, then you can do all that. You can go out to eat, whenever you want. You can buy whatever kind of shoes and clothes you want. You can buy whatever kind of car you want. But it's a time for that. And, so many people are just stuck on social media and what people think. And, man, that stuff don't matter. Like this business, this entrepreneurship, I was doing this before social media. You know what I'm saying? Not knocking nobody that started doing it when the lights and cameras came on. But I had been grinding for ages,
Yeah.
And social media is cool, market and promote, but man, all the work get done outside of social media. You know what I'm saying? When the cameras are off,
Right.
grinding at that time, and I just tell people, you just got to stop making these excuses if you really want it. And that's the only way you're going to be successful. And you got to be consistent. Whenever you start doing something, you got to be consistent. So many people starting off trying to do 10 things at one time. I say, you can't just start off. I say, I do multiple things, but I have systems and I have a team. So if I do start a business, I learn the ins and outs. I hire somebody and put somebody in that position so I can move around and do something else.
Right.
I'm not physically trying to do 5 or 6 things. I know it's no way possible. Like, I'll be all over the place, right? Which I'm all over the place now. But as far as literally have to do all of the leg work,
Yeah.
Tell people, look, lock in on something, go hard with that. And you might not need 5 or 6 businesses. You might can go, if you got one good business, you could become a millionaire off that. And then if you want, okay, now I got time and money, I can invest into another venture. You might want to partner with somebody, But at the end of the day, man, we just got to stop making excuses, man. And if we're going to do it, we just got to do it like Nike, just do it.
That's it. My mentor always says, man, he has a motto. He says, do today what people won't do, so tomorrow you can do what people can't do.
For real.
It's not pretty, and I've heard Steve Harvey say that it's your discipline, not your desire, that will determine your destiny. That's 1000% true. You got a lot of people who got a lot of dreams, man. They get into it, and the second adversity sets in, they quit.
Right.
Not understanding that adversity is just a part of the game.
Oh, that's a part of it, man. You gonna have that, man. Like, business, people think business is just, I'm gonna start a business today and I'm gonna be a millionaire, in a few months. Man, it's work. But eventually, that work will pay off, right? Yeah. What I do now, Ken, man, I try not to work hard anymore. I've been working hard for too long. Now I'm working smart. So
that's right.
I use my brain, right? So you can use your brain and make, man, sky's the limit, you know? And that's what I'm on now, man. That's why I do my digital products and things like that. A lot of things I do now, I don't physically have to do no labor, you know.
And the cool part about it, man, is that you have such a great reputation, and people know that you're a man of your word. They know if you put a product out there, it's going to be a high quality product. I bought the dealership book.
Okay,
Excellent book.
I appreciate.
Um, yeah, oh yeah, man. I bought it. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and probably get my license if for no other reason than to go ahead and expand my fleet of vehicles, and I can probably get a couple of vehicles at a much lower price if I had my own license. If I don't do anything but that, it'll be
Definitely.
worthwhile.
Right. Yeah,
But the thing about you, man, the thing about you that I'm most impressed with is that with everything that you got going on, and you got a lot going on, you still give to the community. You still are increasing your knowledge. Like I actually remember it, man. Like you talking about how you do a lot of stuff offline. Man, you were talking about crypto before people knew what crypto was.
right. Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty well versed in a lot of stuff, but I mean, this was what about 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
17 when I first started posting
Yeah,
crypto, and I was telling people, do some research. I said, do some research on Bitcoin and a couple other things. I posted a few other cryptos back then. That's when I first got introduced, to it. And how I got introduced to crypto, a good friend of mine, he was renting a piece of office space from me, and he was selling cars from one of my, old locations. And he got to telling me, it's like, man, look into this crypto. I'm like, crypto, Bitcoin, and man, what is that? It don't sound like it's real, right? And then, man, I literally watched, right before my eyes, I watched $10,000 within a week turn into $100,000. Like I literally watched this happen, and ever since then I said, okay, I'm convinced. I want to learn more. And what I did at that time, I just started investing, and I've been investing ever since.
yeah, you were talking about it real early in the game, man. So I can imagine some of the rates you got in it and what them percentages looking like right now.
Everything's good, man. Everything's lovely. Crypto goes up and then it goes down, But for the most part, man, me and my whole team, man, we good. We all in, and we try to, educate. I don't teach it. Like I don't really teach crypto because I haven't mastered it. So when I do find out about like a coin or something, I post it and say, look, do your research, because I don't want to, say, look, just go buy this, and don't do what the people wanted to do, and they be like, well, why you told me to get this? Now I just show people, okay, this is what I invested in. You're welcome to go do some research and invest into it as well if you feel like it's something you want to hold.
Well, I like the fact that you're transparent about it. I know, you got on one day and you were asking people about stocks. Man, y'all know anything that's rocking? Let me know about it. You put a couple things out there that you were doing, but when you find most people in your position, man, most people are not humble enough or transparent enough to actually take advice from other people or to actually admit that they have some areas that they're not proficient in. So that's why I say I like you, man, because you're the real deal. The things that you're proficient in, you share it with people, you try to give them information that's going to help them out. But at the same time, you're always seeking knowledge. So you're not so big or so knowledgeable that you're not willing to just take advice or at least counsel. I won't say advice, but counsel from somebody that could potentially help you out, because no matter how much we know, there's always somebody out there that knows something that we don't.
Definitely.
And to me, that's the difference between somebody that's faking it and somebody that's real about it. Somebody that's real about it is humble enough to say, look, this is an area that I'm weak in. Let me find somebody that's strong in that area, and then I can help them in the areas that I'm strong in, and we both can win together.
Right. Definitely, man. Because as an individual, as an entrepreneur, just as a person, as a human being, if someone thinks they know it all, that's a problem, right? Because no one knows everything, right? And you got to be willing to listen. If you're willing to listen and learn, you can definitely become successful and grow in life, right? But if you're to the point where, man, I just know everything, I don't want to listen to nobody, it's going to be hard for you to really grow and make it,
Yeah. And it's going to be hard for other people to follow you because, you know, a lot of people will not follow somebody that has an ego that says that they know everything, because a person like that is dangerous.
Definitely.
You know, you could not know something, lead me down this road,
Right.
and we all perish. So
Right.
humbleness and being vulnerable it's actually a trait of great leadership. You know, so that way the people who are actually following you can see, here's somebody that I can trust, because if they say that going this way is what's best for us collectively,
Right.
they're not just thinking about themselves, you know, so they gonna make it, we gonna perish, but we followed them blindly. So that's just another great attribute of a great leader, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And that's also why I don't just show my wins on you know, on social media and real world.
Mm-hmm.
Also show when I lose, right? And I also tell people about mistakes I made on my journey, you know, so they could potentially avoid the mistakes I've made, because that's how we help people, you know, let the people know where you went wrong, or mistake you made, or investment that went bad, because now that's giving them something to go based off of, you know. So,
Right.
so that's why I'm always transparent with all that, because that's what made me who I am today. If I wouldn't have took those losses and made those investments, or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't be who I am today. So all that was part of the plan. It wasn't really losses, you know. It was just what should I say?
Experience.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you wiser, you know. It makes you think more before you make certain decisions, and you're also able to pass that information on to others that'll help them in the future. And that's what I like to do.
And it keeps you humble. It keeps you grounded, because you know what the males feel like.
And those so-called losses, which are lessons, man, they humble you. You know, they humble you, because, man, when you started making more money than you ever made before in your life, man, and things start changing, man, your head could just grow, you know. And some people's head still like this, right? But it could pop at any time. Anything can happen, and that's what a lot of people don't know, especially if they never experienced it. Man, it could take 5 seconds, and everything that you worked for, and you had the big head revolving around it, you could lose it. Believe it or not, people don't know that, man. So I've been through it, right? I've been from not having nothing to, you know, generating more than enough. I could do whatever I want, and boom, one day, just like that, man, I was back to ground zero. So the difference is, when you never had something, you just never had it. But once you have it and you go to ground zero, it's a different whole ball game. You feel what I'm saying? It's a different, but it definitely humbles you when you're able to share that experience with other individuals. And you look at things a whole lot different. You know, some of the things that's important to a lot of people is not that important to me, right? And I just see it in a different aspect. And I also notice you just like me when it comes to that. It's certain things you look at and dissect and be like, nah, you know, and I'll be the same way, because we experience certain things, you know.
Well, for me, man, I always say that, you know, my personality is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because I can look at anything. I can look at anything and I can learn from it. I can learn from anybody, whether they're a positive person or negative person. I can look at somebody who's doing whatever and I can learn from them. So good and bad, but the bad part about it is that my brain never shuts off. Like never. Like for me, it's hard to sleep because I'm laying down. I keep a notepad beside my bed because I'm always thinking. I wake up 2:00 in the morning and just write something down because I think it's profound and I don't want to lose it. I was telling somebody the other day, man, and they didn't believe me, but man, Donald Trump, I learned a lot from that dude, bro. People are like, man, what could you have possibly learned from Donald Trump? Donald Trump taught me that you don't need a majority of people to support you to be powerful.
Right.
Dude had a vocal minority, and that vocal minority created enough chaos, enough havoc to where this dude was making things happen because people were kind of fearful of the people that he had surrounding him, what they would do when it came to voting and things like that. It were more people who actually were against what he was doing than for him. But the thing about it was the people who rode with him, they rode with him. It wasn't nothing you could do to change their mind.
Right.
Those are about 40% of people that were pro-Trump. You couldn't change their mind. There was 60% that were actually against him, but about 30% both ways had two different agendas. You got 60% that's against you, but 30% wanted to go left, 30% wanted to go right, while his 40% was just going straight ahead. So you don't really need a majority with you with anything that you do, as long as you got a few solid people in your corner,
Right.
that's gonna ride with you regardless.
Right.
Man, you can take over the world, and that dude proved it.
Definitely. I agree.
He definitely proved that, man. So we talked about entrepreneurship, and I know you're the perfect person to ask this question to, because I know you keep it real. I know you're transparent about everything that you have going on, and there are a lot of people who glorify entrepreneurship.
Okay.
You talk to some people, they'll tell you, man, entrepreneurship is the best thing in the world. There's no job security in the job market. The people on the job will only pay you so much, and all of that is true. But there's a side of entrepreneurship that very few people talk about. So my next question for you is, in your opinion, what are some of the pros and some of the cons of entrepreneurship?
Okay. Which one you want me to touch on first? Pros.
Let's get the bad part out the way first.
Okay. So cons, right? The worst part I would say about being an entrepreneur is the sacrifice. Got to sacrifice, especially in the beginning, so much time, so much energy. And for me, it's just over the years, just spending so much time working and staying at my, dealership late, trying to get these deals done. It's time away from your family, right? And time away from your family, your loved ones, that's time you could never get back.
Right.
I would say for me is sacrifice the time, and then not while it's spending money because you know one thing, I need this money to reinvest back into my business. So you're not going to be able to buy the things that you want to buy, even if you have the money right there. You got to put that money back into your business, because that's the only thing going to keep a business up and running. Is cash flow, having funds on hand, because if not, you're not going to make it. So, but the sacrifice, I would say, time away is the hardest part.
The thing that I can kind of relate it to that make most people understand what we're talking about with that cash flow part, for those individuals who get paid once a month, and you know how hard it is to have the budget for 30, 31 days. Think about that. But at the end of those 30 days, you know for a fact you have a certain amount coming in. Now, in entrepreneurship, you may not get paid for 30 days, you may not get paid for 60 days, you may not get paid for 90 days. And if you're a true entrepreneur, if you're a good entrepreneur, the business gets paid first. Well, sometimes the employees get paid first. The employees get paid first.
Right.
The business gets paid. And if you are lucky enough to have additional cash flow in the beginning, you take what's left over.
Right.
So entrepreneurship is the ultimate gamble. When you have a job, rain, sleet, or snow, whether you go in and excel or you slump, you work 40 hours, you're getting paid for 40 hours.
Right.
Entrepreneurship, you're betting on yourself. You're saying that I believe in myself enough to where I believe that if I do this at the apex of my level, then at the end of the day, I'm going to be rewarded with a check. And I know you can understand, man, the first couple months, first year at least, it wasn't a lot coming in. That I personally had. The business was making money.
Right.
But me personally, it was some hard days out there.
Right. And in the beginning, for me, it wasn't so bad. You really see that you definitely got to have cash flow, stay afloat once you start to grow and you start generating money, and then you start hiring people, right? Let's say your business doing well, you start hiring people. and then it slowed down. That
Mm.
really like, okay, I gotta pay them, I gotta pay my, all my overhead, I gotta pay my other bills. And when that business slow down, if it slows down, which it usually will, so now you to the point you gotta pay all these people. And some months, depending on your business and whatever, field you're in, you might not have no money for yourself. You may actually be going into a negative for 4 and 5 and 6 months. You got to be willing
Right.
to say, I'm gonna keep going, or am I gonna shut the doors? And I've had those months where I never had the months where I said I'm gonna shut the doors, but I had the months where I'm like, damn, I ain't making no money, for myself. I still got these bills to pay, outside of the business, but I had to make sure my employees was paid. I had to make sure I kept the lights on, things of that nature. And that's when you really see if you built for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people just don't make it,
Yeah,
and I don't think everybody's made for entrepreneurship.
definitely.
Everybody should invest, even if they have a job, invest into something. That could be real estate, that could be stocks, crypto, that could be, whatever, a business with someone else. But I don't think everybody has what it takes to actually be an entrepreneur, because you got to be a special type of person to be a real business owner. Now, anyone can go and get an LLC, EIN number. That's easy. I could do 10 LLCs in 5 minutes, right? So now I got 10 businesses, but that means nothing. That's just on paper. The
Mm-hmm.
work comes after that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people have to realize. It's more just paperwork. It's just more than saying I'm a business owner. I got this LLC, which cool, congratulations. But now you got to put in the real work. And I
Yeah.
ain't talking about just promoting every once in a while. And I'm talking about work. If you're looking to grow and you want to be able to depend on this business for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
and that's what it boils down to. My businesses, they got to keep going. They got to keep expanding. I got to keep teaching more people. I got to keep hiring more people, and that's my goal. And like I say, man, some people just get into business for the wrong reasons, and just because it look good, and that's not the best reason, So yeah, that's just part of the pros right there, man.
Yeah. A lot of people they get into business, man, and before they've got the mission statement, before they figure out exactly what they want to rock, they already figuring out their company colors. They figuring out what they want their logo to look like, and all that stuff is important later on down the line.
Right,
But I mean, the main thing is to get yourself into a firm foundation to where when those rough times come, and they will,
yeah,
that you are stable. And the thing that I realized was that COVID, COVID, COVID showed a lot of people how strong their business was. It
right,
shows you what the foundation of your business is. So I know I teach financial literacy, and one of the things that we teach is for every individual to have an emergency fund. They need to have at least, a mini emergency fund initially. They need to have at least 3 to 6 months of funds saved up, so that if anything happens, they lose their job or something like that, they still have enough income, enough cash flow to where they can take care of their bills. Solid information for an individual, but I think businesses should have the same emergency fund.
definitely.
And what tripped me out was that there were a lot of businesses that within the first couple of weeks of not generating any revenue, they were crying to the government about what they needed. And to me, that's what showed people that, hey, even though this business is making a lot of money,
Right,
you got somebody behind the scenes that's not really as financially savvy as they need to be. Because if you got a business making 10, 20, 30, $100,000 a month, a week in some situations, there's no way you should be cash flow negative in 2 weeks.
right, right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And yeah. And it showed a lot of people that that your business was not as essential as you thought too. We totally rewrote the book on what's the essential business after COVID.
Right, right, right. Definitely, I agree. And a lot of those businesses, before COVID, I think a lot of those businesses probably was just holding on by a limb, because
Hmm.
businesses A lot of them, do look successful, and people think that they're generating a lot of income, which they can be, but their overhead and sometimes their debt is just over exceeding it. So a lot of businesses are on the limbs, and it could be the small businesses and it could be the bigger businesses, right? And that pretty much shows you, when it's shut down for a month and they're about to close the doors for good, it's pretty much letting you know that business had probably been on the limb for a long time, and then now it shows,
Or you have a business that makes a good amount of money, and the owner is paying themselves an elaborate salary.
That happens a lot too.
Yeah, I talked to Terry
Or
Simmons
head
about
pocket.
that a couple years ago, and he mentioned that to me. It's like, my man, he say, that's a lot of people, man, making a lot of money, man. But if you look at the bottom line look like crap because they got 3 employees, and 80% of their bottom line, 80% of their revenue is payroll. And if you start itemizing the payroll, you look at this person making about 5% of what they're bringing in. This person bringing in about 5% of what they're bringing in. But then you got this one person that's making 70% of the company's total revenue, and is the owner. So the owner is taking all the money out of the business to where there's no money to reinvest.
I agree 100%. They doing it all backwards. They doing it all wrong, and they do that all the time. And I think that's why a lot of these bigger companies we see that close, like some of these nice restaurants that stay busy, like locally, they tapped out, and that's probably the reason why. I don't but I agree with you, man. A lot of them probably they paying themselves like they just own everything, just like when you invest into these stocks, man. Even those CEOs, they sharing it with other people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So we talked about the cons, man. What are some of the pros? What are some of the pros of entrepreneurship, in your opinion?
Okay. I would say some of the pros are sky's the limit, right? When you own your own business, I mean, depending on how much work you put in, depending on how consistent you are, how you plan out, you can make it as much as you want to make. You can make $1,000 a day, depending on your business. You can make $10,000 a day. You can make $1,000 a week. You can make $10,000 a week. I really don't think it's a cap on what you can make. And not only that, what I like about being an entrepreneur and what I've been able to do in my particular cases, like for instance, when my kids have something at their school, right?
You read my mind.
I can go to every event that they have, at any time. I don't have to ask, can I take off, or I got to take off, and y'all looking at me crazy. I'm getting rolled up, man. If they have something, I could go just like that, and that's time you can't get back as well. So earlier I was talking how you got to put so much time in your business, and stay over late, things of that nature, especially starting off. But I also have a lot of freedom, and I don't stay late, anymore. At one point, I used to stay late to work and things of that nature, but I'm able to move how I want to move, So that's somewhat what I consider like wealth. Like I might not have just billions of dollars, but I do have freedom. And they have a lot of people that make way more money than me, and they still not free. So they still have someone that they have to ask permission to do things, and I don't have to ask permission to do nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I also know the energy I put in my business is going to determine the success of that business, right? So if my business is not doing well, I know it's my fault. So I'm able to maneuver at any time, and change things so I can generate the income that I want to generate. Also, some of the pros is the people I can help and teach, right? Because the position I'm in, we are able to show people hands on how to do what we do and lead them in a different direction. And that's what I do. Like majority of the people that have worked with me or for me, they all are now entrepreneurs. Like a large portion of them are entrepreneurs. So I feel like I probably played a role directly and indirectly, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of their subconscious, because your subconscious, controls a lot of what you do, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just showing people, man, and things like that is what I consider pros. But the
Yeah.
freedom and no cap on your income, those are the biggest two pros, I think, of being an entrepreneur.
That freedom. That
Yeah.
freedom is huge, man. It's a different type of freedom. Initially the business will dictate when you work to some degree.
Right.
But as you grow and as you mature in the business, eventually you will get some of that freedom. Now, the cool part about being an entrepreneur when it comes from that freedom perspective is that you have a task to do. As long as you get that task done, a lot of times it's not time sensitive. As long as you get that task done, you can kind of arrange your day however you want to.
Right.
You got
Right.
paperwork that need to be done. Like you said, the kid got something going on in school that day. I'm gonna take off, go to the kids program at the school. I may have to burn the midnight oil later on that night to get the task done, but
Right.
it does give you that flexibility to be able to do the things that you want to do, man. And I that's why I say you read my mind, because I know for me that's the biggest one. Just having that freedom of being able to do things with them kids. I
Yeah.
can coach my son's basketball team. I don't miss PTA meetings. I
Right.
don't miss programs at the school.
Right.
I got a mom that's sick right now. So my mom lives in Mississippi. She's about an hour and a half away. But if she has a doctor appointment down here in Baton Rouge, I can go up there, pick her up, bring her to Baton Rouge. We can eat where we want to eat at. I can take her back home and come back home, and I don't have to worry about asking nobody, can I have time off to take care of my mom?
Yeah.
So that time freedom, man, that time freedom that's major. I know you were talking about that, the time freedom is just like having money. My mentor said that too. He said in life, there are only two types of currency. That's time and money. That's
Definitely.
it.
Definitely.
That's it. So, man, we've talked for about an hour now. I'm not gonna keep you too long, bro. But with everything that you got going on, and you do a heck of a job with doing everything that you do. So I want to commend you for that. But
Appreciate that.
what's next? What's next? Or are we trying to expand the businesses that we have? You got
Oh,
your mind on doing something else? Because I can look at you now and tell that you thinking right now about the next move. So what's the next move, man? If you can share with the audience.
man, what I'm currently doing, I'm continue to do everything that I'm doing. I am looking to expand all the businesses that I'm currently in as far as real estate. Just looking to acquire more real estate. But more so than anything, I just want to continue to teach people, and I want to teach more people. That's my goal for 2022, man, is to help as many people as I can, help new entrepreneurs get their business off the ground. Um, I should be releasing my podcast soon. I got the
Nice.
equipment like I was showing you earlier,
Yeah.
and the podcast that I've been had in the mix for a while. My main focus is going to be on entrepreneurs. Um, entrepreneurs, man. That's all I want to interview and see how we can help one another do conversations. Successful entrepreneurs, because there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs that people never really know and really see that are
Right.
successful outside of social media.
Right.
Bring those people on, because I know a lot of people personally that are doing big things, and I just want them to be able to get their story out, so people could see what they got going on and can learn from these individuals. And that's pretty much it, man. I ain't got nothing crazy going on.
But that can change overnight.
Definitely, 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 man. And look, I want to say I want to definitely gonna pray for your mom. You mentioned that she's sick, so definitely will pray for her.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. The thing I've learned, like I said, I can learn from anything, even with my mom and her illness. you know People always talk about how precious life is, but until you see somebody that has always been vibrant, has always been the life of the party, has always, found time to get out and do things, and you see just how fragile life is, and how in the blink of an eye a person can go from being in perfect health to having to have a caretaker 24 hours a day. It really makes you look at life and health differently. I was always growing up, they would always say here today and gone tomorrow. But I think about a lot of people, and my mom is relatively young. I'm 43. My mom was 63.
Oh yeah, that's young.
Yeah, she's 63, but had a stroke, and it's hard to bounce back from that. God be the glory. She's improving,
Right.
but just to say that the way she went as fast as she went, it just goes to show you, man, that you have to make the most out of every single opportunity, out of every moment. And you need to let people who you care about know you care about them, because, hopefully that time won't come anytime soon for my mom, but you never know what God's plan is for a person's life. You never know when that hourglass of their life is going to expire. And I think the worst thing in the world is to have somebody that you care about and not let them know or not express to them how much they mean to you. So I actually downsized my business quite a bit so that I can have some time to spend with my mom and take her to the doctor and, trying to go up there and see her as often as possible. So yeah, man, I definitely appreciate that, bro. It means a lot. Your kind words mean a lot.
No problem. Definitely.
So, man, look, I ask everybody this question on the way out, because the purpose of our show is to inspire people and to let people know that there are people out there right now who are winning in a very big way. So the questions I have for you in closing, man, is what encouraging words do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Okay, encouraging words for inspiring entrepreneurs. Find something. If you're looking to start a business, find something that you're passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find something you're passionate about that has a market, because you could do something that you love to do, and if there's no market for it, you may not be successful, right? So definitely do some research prior to opening any business. And once you do open a business, you got to be consistent. I know people hear that a lot, but consistency is what's going to get you to where you need to be in business. And you got to go all in with it. You got to go all in. You can't go half stepping, right? Because if you have half stepping, you're not going to make it. You might hang on for a little while, but just do something you really want to do. Don't do something because you see someone else is doing it and they're successful and you feel like, well, he's successful doing that. Let me try that, even though you have no passion in doing that. And people do that. Don't do that, right? Right. Do something you're passionate about doing. That way, when it is slow, you still could. You're not gonna feel that bad, right? But if it's something you want to do, you can do it. You can be successful. Dream big, think big. You got to read. You got to read and do research. Read, stay around positive people. Because if you're around negative people, you're going to have negative results. If you got negative people around you, you just got to cut them off. And that plays a big role in your success, the people that's around you. And people may not know it, but that's real, But just go for it. I tell people, man, look, just go for it. Like, what can you lose? If you've been on your job a year, 5 years, 10 years, you already put all that time in that particular job. That time you done lost, you can't get back. So why not put some time and energy in your own business? And like I said, you don't have to leave your job. Just start on the side like I did, right? And see how it works. It may not be for you. You may not want to do that. You know what? You still got your job. Keep it moving. If you want to try something else, you could try something else. Just don't try to do multiple things at one time. But if you do start a business and it's not successful, no worries. Get up, try something else, and just keep pushing. Keep pushing, be consistent, learn as much as you can learn. If you have to, find you a mentor, a coach. That's a hack. That's how you can get up quick. If you see somebody that's really doing what you're doing and you really feel like this is the person, reach out to them. Reach out to him or her and see if they got some type of coaching or mentorship package and pay them. Be willing to invest that money into that individual.
Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? Because they'll pull you up quick. If they're official, they will help you.
Yeah.
Right. So never be, be that type of person to be like, well, I could just learn everything on YouTube. I could Google everything. Yeah, learning all that might take you 5 years. Somebody that done all that might can give you the game in 6 months. So just go with your move, man, and have faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta really believe, because if you don't believe, you're not going to achieve, right? So any business idea I have in mind, I already tell myself it's going to be successful, and I really believe that, and that's why my businesses are successful, right? But I also take action. I believe, but I take action. So if you do those things, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be successful. And again, if you fall, look, just get back up, just like falling off a bike. Get back up, keep it moving.
Yeah, I think people forget that part. They start a business, they fail, they quit, not understanding that in every aspect of your life, you have fallen and you got back up and you kept persevering. But when it comes to a business, if you don't make $100,000 the first year, business is a failure. Um, One thing I will tell you guys about business, man, and I know a lot of people may believe this, a lot of people may not believe it, but and Trey talks about it all the time, man. Get your paperwork right. Get your paperwork right. Go ahead and if you're a sole proprietor, do it the right way. If you're gonna do an LLC, if you're gonna be a corporation or S corp, do it the right way. And I know a lot of people feel that if they don't get their paperwork and they do everything under the table, that they're actually making more money. But you're really cheating yourself, because when you have that paperwork right, now you get all these tax benefits that you can't get when you're doing things the wrong way. So you're trying to circumvent the system, but the only thing you're doing is that you're hurting yourself, and you're also leaving yourself liable for the government to come in and to start really pushing you to doing things the right way. It's going to take you time. It's going to take you more money to do it. So just go ahead and set it up the right way the first time. Go ahead and get with somebody that understands the benefits of having a business and utilize the tax laws to your benefit. I promise you, the little bit of paperwork that's going to take for you to do it, the little bit of money it's going to take for you to set it up the right way, you're going to benefit a whole lot more from it in the long run by doing it the right way.
I agree 100%. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I just did a post talking about if you're an entrepreneur, and your business is actually making money, make sure you show that on your taxes. I understand, a lot of people want to show that they lost money and they broke even so they can get an income tax check, or they don't have to pay taxes. But when it's time to go to that bank and say, look, I need 50 grand, 100 grand, 500K, which that's what everybody talk about now on Instagram is, business credit, business loan, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, if your paperwork ain't right, if your P&L right, your profit and loss statement right, financial statements, your tax returns, if you're not showing you making money, the bank ain't gonna give you a quarter. They might give you a little credit card, maybe a car loan, but when you're talking about you want to expand your business because you're doing so good, it gotta look good on paper. If it don't look good on paper, you won't get a quarter. So,
right.
Just make sure you show those profits, because it'll help you. It'll definitely help you.
Yeah.
I know, back when you was working a job, you wanted to get those $4,000-$5,000 income tax check. Look, I used to love those too when I was working at Popeyes and all that. But now, look, I want 500K. You know what I'm saying? I want an M, right? And I know one thing, it's all about your paperwork. So yeah, definitely make sure your paperwork, and it starts with having the proper LLCs, things of that nature. Like this brother just was saying, you want to make sure you got your foundation right, and it's not hard to get it right.
It's not, and it just goes to show you how we've grown, man. Because I can remember, bro, up in the age myself now, I can remember getting that $5,000 tax return, and man, I used to go and get rent-to-own rims to put on my car, man. I got that tax return, put some rims on my car, put me a little beat in the trunk. Came out here to Tanger, and that was when they had them FUBU jerseys. I think they had the 5 or the 7 FUBU jerseys.
I had one of those.
I had one every color, cuz I couldn't wait till income tax time came around to get my jerseys.
I think I had only one of those, right? But I remember, Yep. Like I used to do the same thing, man. Buy me a the car, man. Put me some rims on it. Put me some subwoofer, some 12s, in it. The average person our age, that's what we was doing. That's all we do.
Mhm.
That's all that was around us. Get you some, decent shoes. Get you a nice car. Put you some 2022s on a ride, man, and get your shine on. We didn't have people, and I know I didn't have anyone that I knew that told me to do anything different or said, look,
Right.
invest into the stock, man. Put your money here. I didn't have no one telling me those things, so I didn't know. And I look back at it now. I'm like, wow, man, it really wasn't no positive role models to really tell us to not buy those things. And look, put your money here. And 10 years from now, you might become a millionaire. Or 20 years from now, you might have 500K, if you make these investments. No one around me ever told me anything like that. So that's why now, man, we have to do what we're doing. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because we're showing people and telling people, and especially the youth, these are things that you can do with your money. You don't have to just blow your money, so they definitely have an advantage if they, take the time and listen. And I see a lot of guys and gals, young ladies listening, man, and they doing some great positive things. And I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That compound interest, bro. Man, if I could have just go back in time and get that money that I wasted on,
Look, who you telling?
oh man.
Don't dwell in the past, but there's nothing we can do about those thousands and tens of thousands of dollars we spent on nothing that's worth nothing today, right? Nothing. But man, we just didn't know. We just didn't have people in our corner to help us, uh,
Yeah.
tell us, right? And it wasn't as easy it is now to Google things and pull things up online or listen to a podcast or go look at something. It's not like it wasn't like that back then.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
definitely
And it's this is where generational wealth begins, because I'm pretty sure that you talked about you never had anybody that showed you the ropes. I can guarantee your son won't have that same excuse.
I'm on 'em. I'm on them, man. Yeah, I'm on them, man. I be talking and they be telling me certain things. I'm like, damn, how you know that? You know what I'm saying? My kids just the other day was like, I want to invest into some cryptocurrency. I got some money saved. They 9 and 11. Look, I got some
Yeah.
money saved, man. I want to invest into this. I want to invest. All right, cool. Let me show you a little bit more about it. Now listen, it's a chance you might lose some of this money too. Now,
Yeah.
everything ain't for sure, but they understand that. And just for the kids to tell me they want to invest into something, that's different at that age.
Yeah. My son, man, he knows that, for every dollar that he make, 10% of it goes to the church, 10% of it goes in savings. We don't splurge. So he gets a paycheck. He's on my payroll, so he gets a legit paycheck.
Definitely.
But before he makes a purchase, we have that conversation like, is this something that you think that you really need? Is it a need? No, it's not a need. Well, how bad do you want it? Well, I kind of want it. Well, is it worth buying? We have the conversation before you buy. Is it worth buying? Is it something that you got to buy today? Yeah, I mean, I guess it could wait. Well, if it can wait, then let's wait. If it's not anything that you need right now, let's get this money and do something else with it. So definitely, man, I got to make sure that my last name is in a better position when I'm not here than it was when I found it, and I know my kids is the legacy is gonna make that happen.
Definitely. I agree with you, man. 100%.
So man, we could talk forever, bro, because I enjoy having these types of conversations, man. But I'm not gonna hold you up, man. I owe you lunch, bro. I know your schedule is crazy, man. We need to just
Man,
take the day and go ahead and actually meet up in real time. I've been by the shop a couple times looking at a building for my backyard.
right.
And every time I come there, you gone. And I know you out doing your thing, but we need to just take a day, man, and sit down and go have lunch, man. I never met you before, but I feel there's a lot of symmetry, in our visions and in our mindsets and things. And I just want to keep myself surrounded with people like yourself, man. So it'll be a pleasure, man, to be able to take you out to lunch one day.
All right, man. I appreciate that, man. You let me know whenever you're ready. And man, we can go, man, any day of the week, man. Just let me know time and place, and we'll make that happen.
Yes,
Right now,
sir.
vegetarian thing. So look, shrimp and fish. That's all I'm eating.
Man, I need you then, bro, because man, I put on this weight and I'm trying to get it off, man. But my diet is trash. I mean, we talking about being transparent. My diet is trash, and I haven't started exercising to the degree that I need to. I was doing really well before the hurricane. We
Right.
went a week or so without lights, and everything went down, and I haven't bounced back since then. So that's another conversation we can have. If you already on the diet plan,
So,
well, a lifestyle change. I
yeah,
won't call it a diet, a lifestyle change.
I did it before. I laid off meat before, and I lost a nice little bit of weight, and I just did it again, like a month ago, and I done lost like 13 pounds. So if you
Nice.
don't have time to really work out, I say just change your diet, man. Even if you just don't eat as much meat, try that, and also lay off some of the sugar. If you eat or drink a lot of sugar, and you're just gonna feel different, and drink a lot of water. That alone gonna have you feeling better, and not just physically but mentally,
Yeah.
right? Because every time I do this, I feel a whole lot better mentally. I pop up early in the morning. Just try it, man. Just try it, and you'll see.
My biggest problem is I'm not exercising as much as I need to, and I won't even say I don't have the time for it, because I actually have the time. I need to make the time for it. I definitely need to do better with my diet. But my biggest problem is I don't sleep.
Okay, so that's probably one of the big.
That's my biggest problem.
And your exercise is cool, but if you eat right, you will lose weight, and if you get rest. So sounds like you're doing what I used to do at one point. Like when I used to have like 40 and 50 cars at the lot, I used to stay at the lot till like 10, 11 o'clock, be right back up at 5. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll. I got, at that time, I think I had like 6 or 7 employees. I had 2 mechanics, a painter, 4, 5 salesmen, so I had to be up early. Um, but sleep, man, that is very essential for your brain, man, your mind, and your health. So whatever you doing, man, just shut it down early, man, because you
Yeah, I'm getting there. I
gotta
used
do it.
to I used to write my schedule down so that way I can look at it. I used to hold myself accountable to that rigid schedule, and I
Okay.
got away from that. But the way my schedule is right now is that my janitorial business occupies my nightlife.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll start working my janitorial business probably around 2 a.m. So from 2 a.m. to about 8, I'm either cleaning buildings
Okay.
or inspecting buildings.
Okay.
When I get home around 8 o'clock, I'm gonna eat breakfast,
Okay.
and then I go right into my t-shirt and uniform business. That occupies me like from say 9 to about 12 or 1
Okay.
on a slow day. I'm gonna try to get that power nap in between
Yeah.
1 and 3,
Right.
1 and 4. I'm gonna get up between the kids, my financial services business. I'm gonna do that. I just started the YouTube thing, so that steals a little bit of that time.
Right.
And then typically I'll lay it down probably about 10. So from 10 o'clock to about 1:30, I'm sleep. I get up at 1:30, get ready for 2 o'clock, and do it all over again.
Okay.
So my schedule, I need to find a better way of laying my schedule out so that I have design times to eat where I'm not eating and then laying down right behind it at. I got that time to let my mind rest, which is very difficult for me to do anyway. But I'm not an excuse maker. I just got to sit down and put everything on paper, lay it out in front of me,
Right.
and figure out a way to make it happen.
Definitely, definitely. You doing right, man. You headed down the right path, man. What I would recommend is to delegate, to hire somebody to maybe help out with the cleaning business, train somebody up, which I know it's hard to find reliable, dependable people. But if you can, find someone that can do what you're doing, and just pay them, and that way you don't have to do as much,
Mm-hmm.
gonna make as much, but you're gonna have more free time to think more, and that overall is gonna help you to be more productive. each day.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No arguments there from me. So look, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from a guy that I consider to be a savant when it comes to being a businessman, Mr. Rontrell Bethley. So for those of you who are watching, like I said, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and hit the link in the comment section to go to the YouTube channel. We want you to subscribe to YouTube. I don't do a lot of these videos on Facebook, but tonight was a message that I thought that everybody needed to hear. So we simul streamed on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead, hit the link to take you to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so that you'll be able to see these conversations in their entirety on YouTube. For those of you who are already on YouTube, go ahead, hit the like button. The like button helps with the algorithm so people can see more of these type of videos. And if you know somebody that can benefit from this conversation, go ahead and share this information so that they can have positive influences and positive words of affirmation that they can build off of. I've appreciated you coming on, Trail. I've appreciated everybody that took the time to watch the video, who shared the video. Thank you to our new subscribers. We have a couple more broadcasts set up for next week. We got some panel discussions. We got some relationship talk. And you guys already know that we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. So I'm going to go ahead at this point in time and bid everybody a good night. I appreciate you all more than you know for watching this thing and sharing it and taking this journey with me. You know, this YouTube thing is a journey. I'm absolutely enjoying it. And I appreciate all of you for taking the journey with me. So until next time, we are gone.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm.